right, here is the third example we want to do on conditionals. So in this example, what we want to do is we want to get a selection from user if they want to convert a value they have from Fahrenheit to Celsius or from Celsius to Fahrenheit. And then we are going to get a temperature from them that they want to convert. So in this example, again, there is a selection. There is either they want to go from Fahrenheit to Celsius or Celsius to Fahrenheit. So depending on their selection, we are going to pick one of the two paths that we have. And each one is going to have its own formula. That is why we have to know exactly what path we need to take, because it's going to pick a different formula for doing the calculation. So if it's from Fahrenheit to Celsius, this is the formula we are using. If it's from Celsius to Fahrenheit, this is the formula that we are going to use. And this is the temperature that user puts to do the calculation. Okay, so as you see, I section my program. I have some headers for my program. So user sees, okay, this is a conversion temperature program that we are writing, and it goes from Fahrenheit to Celsius or Celsius from Fahrenheit. It gives some information about, okay, you need to put either F or C for your selection to go from what to what. So from Fahrenheit to Celsius or the other way around. And then in here, I sectioned it. I want to get the information from user. I want to get their selection, if it's F or C, and the temperature they want to convert. So I'm going to do that part next. So I'm going to create this variable, which or selection or any other variable name that you want to pick. And I'm going to have an input. What is your selection? And here in the parentheses, I'm going to put F, C, so they know it must be either F or C, and we also gave that information before, so they know they need to put that in here. So I'm going to close the parentheses, and then next line I'm going to get the temperature they want to convert. So input, what temperature? Just keep it simple. So what temperature, and we are closing it here. All right, so let's test this part of the program and then see if there is anything I want to change, and then we come back and add our conditions to it. Okay, so there is an issue here. Okay, let's see. All right, I have an extra parentheses, an extra quotation when I was closing this one. Okay, so let's see. All right, here we go. So this program will convert temperatures, Fahrenheit to Celsius, enter F to convert Fahrenheit to Celsius, and enter C to convert Celsius to Fahrenheit. And then ask for your selection. So I'm going to, for now, I'm just going to put F. It's not going to do anything. And then for the temperature, I'm going to put 70. And we haven't have the formula set up, so it's not going to give us any value. But we were able to get the information that we wanted so far. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is to determine the temperature conversion. So we need to use either of these formulas to do that calculation. All right, so again, there's going to be two possible paths. So in this case, it's either they put F or they put C. If they put F, we are going to use a specific formula. If they put C, we are going to use a specific formula. So depending on that condition, we are going to pick one of these two possible paths that we have. So I'm going to start with an F. Again, it doesn't matter if you want to set up your F first or your C first. It's totally up to you. So I'm going to use this variable which, because it holds the selection. If it's F or C. So if this one is equal, we are doing the comparison. We are not doing assignment. So since it is comparison, you're using two equal sign. If this one is character F, we are not leaving it as F because that means variable F. That is different from looking at this character F. So if which is the selection that we have is character F, then we want to use this formula. So I'm going to just copy this one. It's already written here. So I'm going to do that. You probably have to type it. So I'm going to say result, or you can just put temperature if you want to, equal to this one. So you can call it whatever you want. And then elif, I'm going to have my second one. So which is going to be C instead of F. So if it is C, then we are going to use this formula for it. So we are going to say result is equal to this formula. And then depending on the selection, again, you're going to pick either this path or this path. And then I'm going to add this else and just put print invalid input. Oh, why it's not going down? Invalid input. Okay. Alrighty, so we have that. So you can either print the result right away here if you want to, or you can wait all the way to the end and print the result that you have. If you're checking for invalid input, that means it is possible that the program pass these two and skip the result. So result is going to be 0, like you don't have that variable result at all if the input was invalid. So if you just say print result, and if you got to this line and never calculated the result, it's going to give you an error message. And we can test that. But for now, I'm going to just put F or C, and then we are going to get back to it and see how we can resolve that issue. Okay, so selection, I'm going to put F first, and then for the temperature, I'm going to put 70, and then it's going to give us this error message, all right? So let's read the error message and see what happened. So it says in line 19, when you try to do this calculation, it was not supported for the subtraction. So you're trying to subtract an integer value from a string. So, which is like, it's talking about subtraction, so it's talking about this part. So 32, we are 100% sure is an integer value. What about temperature? Let's go back. What type is temperature? Is it a string or is it a numeric value? It's coming from input, so it's 100%, we're 100% sure it's type of string because it's coming from input function. So if you want to see it as a numeric value, we need to convert it either to a float type or an integer value. I'm going to go with float because temperatures could be float values. So I'm going to convert that float, but which we are going to keep that as a character, as a string, because we are looking for a character. We want to have F or C, so we are going to keep it a string type. So we are not going to convert this one. So let's write again, F, the temperature, we are going to put 70, and then here we go. So we have 21. So 70 degree in Fahrenheit is going to be 21 Celsius, okay? So you're going to go from Fahrenheit to Celsius. And it makes more sense for this example to print them here because you can have customized messages for them. So you can say, okay, I want to say in Fahrenheit is, and we are closing this one in Celsius. So this temperature in Fahrenheit is this in Celsius, okay? So just run it again and see how it looks, and then we can add that to the other one. So 70 in 70 degree in Fahrenheit is 21 degree in Celsius, and you can add the degree if you want to. I'm going to add that here, and then in Celsius, okay? So I'm happy with this message, so I'm going to basically copy this one and add it to the second part. I'm just going to change the order of the stuff that we have. So this is going to be our Celsius, and this is going to be in Fahrenheit. So if we do that, it should give us the appropriate value for each one. So what temperature? Let's do 25. And it's going 25 degree in Celsius is 77 degree in Fahrenheit. So it gives you the customized message depending on the value that you have, on the selection that you have. You can also add the lowercase f to it, lowercase c to it, similar to the first example that we did of looking at different characters. There were like 4 different methods of doing so. So try all of them and see if you remember each single one of those methods. So this is again another simple example of doing selection control or conditionals. So you have 2 paths. You can check your invalid one. If user puts anything else, is going to give invalid input. So you can just test it, test with different values. Another thing I want you to take care in this example is let's go back here. So if I have F, if I put 70, you see there's so many decimal places for this value. I want you to format your result in a way that only shows maybe 1 or 2 decimal places. So practice with that. You already know format functions. So go ahead and format your result and make sure you only see 1 or 2 decimal places or 1 or 2 digits after the period that you have.